Angela and Garrett Holmes were stunned when a letter arrived from the housing association, ordering the removal of Angela's wheelchair ramp. Initially, they believed it was a misunderstanding, but the situation worsened when the association filed a lien against their property. Faced with this sudden challenge, the couple understood they had no choice but to take action and fight back. For 10 years, Angela, Garrett, and their young daughter Mary lived peacefully in their Mount Juliet home without any issues from the community or the housing association. Everything changed on December 15, 2017, when they received a letter that would disrupt their lives. Throughout their decade-long stay, the Holmes family had never faced a single complaint, even when Angela installed a wheelchair ramp. Their neighbors, residing in the same apartment complex, didn't raise concerns and were more than willing to offer help when needed. Reflecting on the situation, Angela realized that a new president had recently taken over the HOA board and had made remarks about the wheelchair ramp. She began to suspect that this new leader might be responsible for the complaint. After ignoring previous letters about the ramp, Angela was caught off guard when an urgent notice arrived, demanding her presence to justify her actions or face serious consequences. Determined, Angela decided to confront the Housing Association board directly, asking why they were insisting on the removal of her wheelchair ramp. Though the board seemed uncomfortable with the question, the new president bluntly called the ramp unsightly. Angela was left with no doubt about where she stood. In a defiant stand, she refused to comply with the unreasonable demand and left the office, standing up for her rights. The very next day, Angela received a notification from the Housing Association informing her that a lien had been placed on their home. The only way to remove it was to comply and take down the ramp. With a heavy heart, Angela asked Garrett if he could dismantle the ramp and bring it inside. At first, Garrett refused, insisting they shouldn't give in to such an absurd demand. But when Angela told him about the lien, his attitude shifted. They realized they had been coerced into accepting the association's demand. That evening, Angela and Garrett sat down to weigh their options. Garrett was ready to fight the HOA with everything he had, even if it meant going to court. But Angela had her doubts. She didn't want to stir up more trouble than they were already facing, especially in the place they called home. In some cases, an HOA could even force residents to leave. The couple felt stuck. They wanted to reinstall the ramp, but the thought of battling the housing association seemed overwhelming. Angela believed they had no real choice but to comply. Since she was the one using the ramp, it felt like her decision to make, right? Reluctantly, she convinced Garrett that going along with the HOA's demands was the safest path, even though she knew it would come at a cost. Although Angela worked from home and was comfortable with the surroundings, she began to feel trapped. In the past, she could leave whenever she wanted, but now she had to wait for someone to help her go out. It felt suffocating, and as weeks passed, the feeling only worsened. Staying indoors was her only option, but even that brought new problems. One morning, Angela received yet another email from the Housing Association. Their harassment hadn't stopped. In fact, it seemed to escalate as she moved through her own home. The HOA accused her of disturbing the peace, sending daily letters with baseless complaints. After a month of this relentless pressure and isolation, Angela finally broke down. She couldn't take it anymore. She was tired of the constant harassment, and most of all of losing her freedom because someone found her ramp unattractive. All she wanted was to reinstall her ramp and reclaim her independence. Feeling the need to clear her mind, Angela decided to visit her next-door neighbor, June. They had known each other since Angela moved in, and she knew that a conversation with the older woman might ease some of the stress. After sitting down and thanking June for having her, Angela sipped tea as they discussed her recent troubles. Midway through the chat, June's expression turned serious. She had something important to share. She told Angela that the Housing Association had no legal grounds for their demands. If Angela chose to take the matter to court, they wouldn't stand a chance. Curious to verify June's claim, Angela immediately called a lawyer. When she returned home, her gloomy mood had shifted to a sly smile. Maybe it was time to turn the tables on the HOA. All her friends had recommended this particular lawyer, so she dialed his number. he answered, and Angela laid out the entire situation. The lawyer confirmed that June was likely right. In legal matters, everything depended on evidence, and if Angela wanted to fight back, she would need to hit the HOA where it hurt. Although he wasn't fully aware of all the details yet, he expressed his willingness to take on the case. However, he warned her that it wouldn't be an easy battle. The next day, Angela met with her lawyer, bringing along every letter she had received from the housing association since the ordeal began. As the lawyer reviewed the documents, a brilliant idea struck him. He told Angela that her case was incredibly strong. The letters alone provided clear evidence of discrimination, and the best part was that the HOA wasn't even trying to conceal it. Armed with this information, Angela decided to take the housing association to court. The judge, upon reviewing the case, was far from pleased. The HOA had violated one of the most critical protections under the Americans with Disabilities Act, which prohibits discrimination against individuals with disabilities in daily life. The judge not only ordered the association to lift the lien on Angela's property, but also mandated that they compensate her for the hardship they had caused. With that compensation, Angela devised the perfect form of revenge. She used the money to purchase the new HOA president's prized state-of-the-art apartment. Now it's your turn. What are your thoughts on this story? Have you ever experienced something similar? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.